Hi, welcome to a basic tutorial on the HMC150 Panasonic digital video camera. I'm actor-director James Cameron, and let's look at some of the stuff that comes out of the bag. This camera comes with a handy-dandy battery charger, a large battery, a smaller battery, and you must provide your own SD card. First thing we want to talk about is inserting the battery onto the back of the camera so you can get some power. Make sure that the arrow is pointing down when you put it in the camera. And then you'll hear a click, and your battery is in. It does come with the other smaller battery, but we're going to use the bigger one right now. Once your battery is installed, then you can talk about putting in your SD card. You want to make sure you put your SD card in when the camera's off. Here I'm loading the SD card into the slot located on the back of the camera. Push it gently in until it snaps, and make sure that the case is secured, otherwise the camera won't go back on. Now let's go over some of the basic functions of the HMC150. Probably the most important is turning the camera on. You'll notice the button right here. Also, you want to figure out, once you've switched the camera on, what camera mode you're in. There are 3 camera modes. There is PC, there is playback, which is PB, and there's cam, CAM. When the red light is on cam, you have the camera running and it's ready to record. There's 2 record buttons, one right next to the on button and one on top. When you're ready to change from manual to servo zoom, you can also use the servo toggle zooms up here. One on top next to the record button on top and one on the side. There's also 3 different speeds for the zoom here. You can also turn it on and off right here on the camera as well. Since we're talking basic functions, let's talk about some of the buttons on the camera. It's always better to switch the camera into manual mode if you want to do more on your own. You have 3 users here. You can switch between servo zoom and manual zoom. You also have your filter and focus assist buttons right here. If you're not sure and you want to switch into autofocus, you just push that button right there. This helps you to adjust your iris. Your iris button is here. Your gain button is here. White balancing, which we'll go over later, is also located here. If you want to switch to iris, you simply move it that way. If you want to focus, use the focus ring in the front, you can switch it right there. Once again, switching to iris lets you adjust the iris here. Switching back to focus lets you do your focus up here on the front of the camera with the servo ring. There's also sound monitoring levels here, and we'll be going into some of those as we open up the viewfinder. One of the great things about the HMC Panasonic 150 is that it has this liquid crystal display, which you can open up here, and that lets you see when you're filming the different things. Also, there's a series of buttons on the inside here, so to kind of demonstrate those, we're going to switch it to the camera mode to viewfinder mode. So that's playback. You can use the handy dandy toggle up here, the joystick, to toggle fast forward or to pause or to stop or to reverse. You can also switch to your menu button if you need to white balance or to work on your zebras. Anything that you need to do for formatting the card is all up there on your menu function, and you just toggle back and forth in between them. Some of the buttons that are located here on the inside are the bars, shutter, which allows you to select your shutter speed, slower or faster. These are all your audio and sound inputs right here. We also have your counter reset, your zebra settings, and your liquid crystal display right there. All available in this handy dandy format.
Light intensity adjustments. Use the ND filter switch to change the ND filter used. There are 3 ND filters. 1/4 cuts light intensity by up to about 1/4 of the light available. 1/16 cuts light intensity by up to about 1/16 of the light available. 1/64 cuts light intensity by up to about 1/64 of the light available. Shutter speed. In order to white balance your camera, first you have to set up the shutter speed. The faster the shutter speed, the shorter the time the image sensor is exposed to light. The slower the shutter speed, the longer the time the image sensor is exposed to light. White balance. White balance is the process of removing unrealistic color cast so that objects which appear white in person are rendered white in your photo or image. Proper camera white balance has to take into account the color temperature of a light source, which refers to the relative warmth of or coolness of white light. For instance, this white sheet of paper, which will help us white balance our camera. By zooming in and pressing AWB button, automatic white balance, we will be able to white balance our image. The iris is an adjustable opening or aperture which controls the amount of light coming through the lens. As you open the iris, more light comes in and the picture appears brighter. When the display is dark, increase the gain to brighten the display.
Strike. You always want to say strike when you turn on a light. It's very important to let others know in the room when a light's going to be coming on. The purpose of the lighting is really to tell a story with light. That's as simple as it gets. So it all depends on where the cameraman places the camera, where the lights are going to go, and what kind of mood you need to set for the scene.
There you go.
The purpose of the backlight is to separate the subject from the background and to give a nice lighting along the top and shoulders of the head. Then we add on the fill light. Fill light helps to fill in light from the side. Your key light is that, for example. Backlight, fill light, and key light. Setting up the tripod efficiently and quickly is extremely important. Loosen the levers and grab by the top to extend the arms out. Check and double check that all the levers are properly secured. Balancing the tripod is extremely important. Now you're ready to shoot.
Am I rolling?
Alright, tell me when to pull.
Go ahead. Medium trucking shot. Action. Trucking extreme close-up. Ready? Camera rolling. Action.
Bush shot.
Bush shot.
I think
The off shot. I don't think we're doing.
Well, the connecting cables and all that stuff, we can do it in another room.
Yeah, Mike's later.
just a second, okay? I need to have time
And
to see if I
even those can be done later, right?
how it
Or if we
goes.
can get them done right now.
And then if we don't
Well-
Let's talk
like
about
it,
where
we
some of the
should-
connecting
I
cables
can
go.
avoid
Well,
it.
we can do that later. This isn't like that hard or something. We can do it like in a different room, like the room that's right next door to ours.
Okay,
We can do it in there, or inside the room.
Okay. No va a salir, ¿verdad? Okay. Ahí estás
I should be
grabando.
scratching a body part each time now.
El mío se mira.
A James.
No.
When I'm with my homies, we're rolling.